Joining two countries is always a challenge, but I think I did it. Now let me explain this whole joining two countries nonsense. I have a friend that is from Paraguay. Now he met a nice lady from Taiwan. They got to know each other and they got married and are living in Taiwan at the moment. I wanted to make something that represents each of them, but also their unity. And since they are from very different countries and cultures, I figured I'd make a nice nut or candy dish that represents each of their countries. So I joined the two countries. After some back and forth, I settled on this design, where Paraguay is the outside shape and Taiwan is the inside cutout. First, I prepared the wood, and it had some cracks in it that I filled with epoxy. After sanding the epoxy, I cut out the template that I used as a router guide. I removed a lot of the inside material using a drill bit before using the router to remove the rest and giving it the shape of Taiwan. I then removed the template, and using the cutout in the wood, I made a bowl even deeper before cutting the rest of the board off and taking it over to the bandsaw to cut out the outer shape. I then cleaned it the best I could with the fixed belt sander. The rest had to be hand sanded. The crack that I filled with epoxy had opened up a little bit on the bottom, so I filled it with UV curing epoxy. It takes a couple of minutes under UV light and it dries and is ready to work with. I also had some breakouts in the back from the planer, so I covered the whole thing in the back with black epoxy, then sanded it all down and all the little micro imperfections were covered. Then came the task of sanding everything to 400 grit, and the little sand discs that I can put on my drill really came in handy for the inner part. After that, I wiped it down with a damp rag and let it dry. Then I sanded it one more time to give it a really nice finish. Wiping it down with a damp rag lifts all the little fibers that can be sanded down to make it really smooth. The finish is a food-safe oil, and I applied it 2 times in 2 days to give it a chance to soak it all up. On this channel I do very different projects, so if you enjoyed this project, I would like to see others done with wood and metal as well, then subscribe and like this channel so I can keep growing and also produce more videos like this. And that's the finished project. I hope they like it, and after laser engraving a personal message into it, I'll figure out a way to get it to them.